I have the privilege of serving as a pioneer ministry advocate in the Diocese of Connor. And even though the Church has been sharing the good news of Jesus Christ for over 2,000 years, each new generation of believers has had to share its unchanging truths in new ways to make it relevant for their generation. It's with expectation that we step out in faith for this generation, seeking that the family of God would grow right here, right now.
What is pioneer ministry? Well, pioneer ministry is a new way of doing something that the Church has always done. The Church of Ireland has always been about inviting people to discover just who God is in Jesus Christ, and then to worship Him and follow Him. So, in many ways, pioneer ministry is a continuation of who we are. It's a new, creative and varied approach for us to learn how to be who God has always called us to be. Pioneer ministry puts the focus firmly back on reaching out beyond the group of people who turn up to church on a Sunday. It reaches those with little or no connection to existing church. It invites us to think about the communities where we live and work and ask ourselves the question, how can we reach them more effectively? How can we help them to discover the good thing that we have found in Jesus Christ?
One of the joys of being a cathedral community is that it's easy to find. No matter where you are in a town, and even the surrounding areas, it's hard to miss. It's an opportunity to be a city on a hill, a light that draws people in. However, the danger then becomes in the mindset that the onus is on the people to come to the cathedral, rather than the cathedral to go out to the people. Yet I don't think it's a one-way thing. It's both and, not either or. Making a cathedral an easy place to see and know for those not yet there, and a place for those who are, to ask questions like, who is God calling us to reach, to serve, to love? Over the past 10 years, God has given the cathedral a particular passion for the people of the Hillhall Estate. Hillhall is less than a mile from the cathedral, on the other side of the River Lagan, over the Blue Bridge, which can serve as a very distinguishing dividing landmark here in Lisburn. This estate has suffered under darkness of despair and deprivation, but the vision is to see it transformed, for the darkness to be replaced by the light of Christ and the abundance of life that comes through knowing Him as Lord. So every Easter, as we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, the cathedral reaches out to the people of the Hillhall and invites them to experience the goodness of God through our presence and service.
My wife Donna and I and our two kids have had the privilege of being a part of Lisburn Cathedral for over 10 years, and the particular privilege of being part of the Easter outreach to the Hillhall Estate called Big Church Serve. As we prayed through the streets and offered prayer to those who were interested, I realised two things. Firstly, I had a love for the people of this area and a longing for them to hear the message of Jesus. And second, was that the traditional models we have for church don't always connect with people where they are at. And the message of Jesus never changes, but the way that we share and embody that message has to change if we're going to reach those with little or no connection to church.
As the cathedral's ministry to Hillhall grew, it became clear that the project would need leadership to drive it forward. Someone would have to take it on. While it's important that they had the right skills, the most important thing was that they had a heart for the area and a vision for what God wanted to do in people's lives. Pete, as a member of the cathedral community who devoted himself to this outreach, was an obvious candidate. The next steps were to commission him for the work, create the infrastructure necessary to support him, and find the resources that he would need in order to have the best chance to succeed.
It's wonderful to see this begin in Connor Diocese with Pete Meenagh, who has now become a full-time Church of Ireland pioneer minister, and so can focus fully on the work that he's doing with South Lisburn Community Church, where he's planting a church into a large housing estate, establishing ministries that will reach a wide range of people who don't attend one of the established churches in the town. South Lisburn are also partnering with the local community development group and district council to establish a permanent building in Hillhall that will serve all three groups and the needs of the community. This is a great example of how connecting with those who don't yet know Jesus is bringing new life to a whole community in the Hillhall Estate. It also shows how the vision and support of the local parish of Lisburn Cathedral can resource and nurture the new thing into existence.
Stepping out into this work in 2021, it's felt like a bit of a roller coaster. We have planted a worshiping community called South Lisburn Community Church, which meets in the local primary school. But we've also had the opportunity to pioneer a lot of things outside of that as well. We've run an outreach cafe, a Connect youth group, an Alpha course. We have run music workshops, Bible study groups, running groups, and children's holiday Bible clubs. We started Transforming Lives for Good, which mentors students transitioning from primary to secondary school, and family events and children's clubs aimed at meeting the specific needs of the people and families that we have in the area. Each group focused on making connections, creating community, and discussing faith. This has so far allowed our church to grow closer and grow deeper in faith, and for the church to connect with new people who otherwise wouldn't have come to church. And we are about empowering people to share their faith in a natural way, to pray for others, and to have a welcoming atmosphere in our church community where people can feel at ease. Our service is very relaxed, which makes it more straightforward to invite people along. Now, the Church of Ireland Pioneer funding grant means that I can go full time, so I will be able to dedicate myself fully to leading the new church plant in the Hillhall Estate. It will allow me to be in the area more, make more connections, and to pioneer the programs we dreamed of being able to develop if only we had the time. Pioneer Ministry gives us that time and is giving me the crucial training that will equip me for this exciting role.
The leadership and members of the Cathedral remain convinced that investing in this community will open doors to raise up people to have faith in Christ, to achieve new life goals, and to provide greater support for one another in their local community. To make this belief a reality, Lisburn Cathedral and the Hillhall Regeneration Community Group, with the support of Lisburn and Castlereagh City Council, have made successful bids for funding for a new community centre in Hillhall. It's a delight to see this partnership at work. All three stakeholders are thrilled that this community centre will be the beating heart of the local community. And Pete, as the Pioneer Minister, and his team will be there offering faith, hope and love to everyone in the name of Christ.
It excites me to see this pioneering work reaching new people in Lisburn, and it excites me too that similar pioneering opportunities are beginning to emerge across the Diocese of Connor. It's my prayer that pioneer ministry and the spirit that drives it might be a real blessing to us as we seek to become growing healthy churches throughout the length and breadth of Connor, so that people in all our communities have the opportunity to discover the joy and the hope and the life that we find in Jesus.